when the schools say that the Pilgrims and the Native Americans feasted together and celebrated after they taught them how to survive on the land, that part isn't false. That's actually true. But they always cut the story off there, and there's a lot more to this story. As the Native Americans were kind of becoming outnumbered by so many Pilgrims, they started to slowly take them out. Now, one of the biggest attacks that is known to have happened was the Green Corn Ceremony attack. Basically, what happened is one of the native tribes named the Pequots were celebrating their annual Green Corn Ceremony. And a Green Corn Ceremony is an annual celebration that usually lasts for about 4 days and is practiced by various Native American tribes. And they did not agree to the original treaty that Squanto negotiated between them. And because of this and the fact they believed they had right to their land, the Pilgrims decided to murder as many of them as possible. In the early hours of the morning after the natives had their green corn celebration, English soldiers just showed up and surrounded all of the village while they were sleeping. They then ordered them to come outside, and if they refused to come outside, they would just set their shelter on fire and they were burned alive inside of them. The ones that did come outside were either shot or beaten to death with a club. After this, a new celebration was formed to celebrate the victory and slaying of all of those Native Americans, and it was called Thanksgiving. And it continued. The Pilgrims continued going to different tribes and attacking them, selling children as young as 14 off into the sex slavery, and just murdering anyone else. They would literally fill boats with like 500 people at a time and ship them back to England. Fucking bizarre. And despite the treaty that was made, most of the chiefs were beheaded, and the chief of the Wampanoag tribe was specifically beheaded and stuck on a stick for 24 years on display for everyone to see. And so these celebrations and massacres have continued for many years to come. And George Washington became the first president in 1789, and he decided that there should only be one day set aside every year to celebrate all of these successful massacres. When he created the Thanksgiving Proclamation, the Native Americans aren't even mentioned in it one time, even though they were basically the reason that the Pilgrims were able to establish themselves, aka we may not be here today without them.